Welcome to this Let's Play of Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I'm Psychedelic Eyeball.
Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill. Isaac kept to himself, drawing pictures and playing with his toys as his mom watched Christian broadcasts on the television. Life was simple, and they were both happy. That was until the day Isaac's mom heard a voice from above. "Your son has become corrupted by sin. He needs to be saved." "I will do my best to save him, my lord," Isaac's mother replied, rushing into Isaac's room, removing all that was evil from his life. Again, the voice called to her. "Isaac's soul is still corrupt. He needs to be cut off from all that is evil in this world and confess his sins." "I will follow your instructions, Lord. I have faith in thee," Isaac's mother replied, as she locked Isaac in his room, away from the evils of the world. One last time, Isaac's mom heard the voice of God calling to her. "You've done as I've asked, but I still question your devotion to me. To prove your faith, I will ask one more thing of you." "Yes, Lord, anything," Isaac's mother begged. "To prove your love and devotion, I require a sacrifice. Your son Isaac will be this sacrifice. Go into his room and end his life as an offering to me to prove you love me above all else." "Yes, Lord," she replied, grabbing a butcher's knife from the kitchen. Isaac, watching through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around his room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trapdoor to the basement hidden under his rug. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his mother burst through his door and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
So, of all things to do, why a Let's Play of Binding of Isaac? First, I like this game a whole lot, and second, I did this bet with Slowbeef saying that if he could unlock Godhead, I had to do a Let's Play of this game. And well, what do you know, he actually managed to do this, so it's time that I hold my end of the bargain, and let's dive into this game right away. So, controls of the game are simple enough. You can walk in all directions and shoot in all 4 directions. So, for the people that are not really aware of Binding of Isaac, well, this was a very successful roguelike that started its life as a flash game that was sold at a very low price, as sort of a respite project for half of Teammate, which was Edmund Macmillan, and it was made also with Florian Himzel. Well, this was a complete remake, not made in Flash, and therefore the game now runs really well. It added a shit ton of new items, enemies, and everything. So, all in all, it was a very welcome release for everyone who, like me, decided to pour close to 200 hours of play onto this game. And well, with this game it managed to do it again. Before starting this Let's Play, I've clocked in about 250 hours or so in this game, and I have some friends who have double of that playtime. As for the gameplay, as you've seen by now, it plays like a Robotron kind of game with a Zelda-like maze structure where you're locked in inside rooms and you must kill everything before you can advance to the next room. And at the end of every floor there's a boss that you must fight. This one here is Larry Jr. and for the most part he's probably the best introduction you could have to this game because it's a very easy boss for the most part. This boss doesn't even try to attack you, it's just randomly roaming all around the landscape and it's just minding its own business, just dropping poop everywhere because yeah, this entire game is all about poop, as well as crying babies, I guess. Every time you kill a boss you get a new item. This one allows us to deal more damage, and our tears also travel faster through the sky. So our goal in this game will be to eventually confront Mom, and in order to be strong enough to eventually overpower her, we're gonna need all of the power-ups we can find inside of our basement that seemingly decided to house a huge collections of nameless creeps that you never will want to find yourself with. And already we're only one floor in and we already look pretty horrific. We've pretty much poured a whole bunch of perfume on our eyes and we got whipped a whole lot all the way to the blood. Yeah, this game is not exactly the most subtle when it comes to any kind of references. What we've picked up here is a trinket. These items are passive items that we can carry along. You can have one of them at any given time, and they always have passive effects that can help you be better at the game, or sometimes they can make you worse, but that'll be a bridge that we'll cross at some point. So now we have another add-on to our tiers. Now, additionally, well, our perfume allowed us to have shots which make all of the enemies randomly run away from us. Now, we can shoot tiers that will transform enemies into our allies. And this new trinket that I picked up, the flat key, is really good because every single time that you pick up a coin, you have a chance of getting a key out of the deal. Allow me to demonstrate. Okay, I guess that was a poor demonstration. So I guess we're gonna go to the next boss. So we're off fighting against Dingle, and yeah, this guy definitely has a unique story, because Dingle is a town in County Kerry in Ireland, the only town on the Dingle Peninsula, which sits on the Atlantic coast, about 50 kilometers southwest of Tralee. So yeah, this makes perfect sense, believe me. Okay, or maybe it's just a synonym of poop. And as you accomplish certain tasks, you will unlock several items, or sometimes you can just have feel-good messages. We got Basement Boy only because we cleared the entire basement without getting hit. And now we've stepped into the Devil Room. I will not go into the details of the Devil Room yet, but essentially Satan has items to give you in exchange of your soul. Okay, or maybe your heart containers. But these are for the most part all good items except the one in the middle. We're gonna pick it up some other time. But yeah, the Pact is one of the items that you'll always want to get in a run because it increases your damage and it also increases your firing speed a whole lot. And honestly, I think firing speed in this game is more important than damage, so that's something you're gonna want to. So yeah, we're definitely doing good. We've only did 2 floors and yet we've unlocked 2 characters. We unlock Lazarus because we've got a combination of 4 blue or black hearts. These are pretty much heart containers that you cannot replenish naturally, unlike the red containers, but they usually allow you to do several stuff, and it's basically extra health on top of your health bar, but right now it's the only health that I have. And black hearts, well, we'll see them whenever time will come. So the Lucky Foot for us is a pretty good item because it allows for our item, which makes it so that we can have tiers that will make enemies scared or enemies become charmed and attack other enemies. Well, these items will trigger a whole lot more often, so all in all, this is definitely something that I want. So this enemy is bigger and has a dark tint. Well, that's a champion enemy, and those ones explode whenever they die, so you have to be careful. But you'll also get a bomb out of the deal. Now we have our first spacebar item of the game. In addition to have bombs that you can lay over at any given time, you also have items that can be activated with the spacebar or the use button. Well, throughout the course of this LP, I will be referring to your controls as the keyboard because the Flash game could only be played on the keyboard, and honestly, I never could break off that habit. I must play this game with the keyboard. So we have what is essentially a cosmetic trinket. The wiggle worm just makes your shots arc into some weird direction. It doesn't really do anything for you, but it's always funny. And if I didn't have the flat penny, which allows me to get way more keys than I will normally have, well, you know, I'm still gonna keep on this because this is way better. So welcome to the shop. Right now it's a little shabby, but we're eventually going to make this place a whole lot more grandiose. But first we're going to need all the money that we need, because in order for the store to become good, well, we're going to have to donate to the donation box. Except that the store doesn't want you to give any money to it, so the donation box will just randomly break at any given moment, and therefore this is a very terrible thing to do. Also, that cat head item that I got, which is called Tammy's Head, well, it's an incredible spacebar item, especially for the early game, because it recharges every room that you use it in, and it shoots a whole lot of projectiles everywhere, and additionally, every projectile that you shoot deals a whole lot of extra damage, so for rooms like this is usually your best bet in order to clear it in only a matter of seconds. Also, we definitely have a gross enemy cast. This was a tumor, and when you harm them, they become really ballistic and hard to avoid, so you gotta be careful. But you also gotta be careful for the worms. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the first time I've ever gotten hit. So this guy is pretty much a reskin of Larry Jr., except he's much meaner because this guy will chase you around, and after that you kill him, he just splits into a whole lot of worms, maggots, and everything. And yeah, these are troll bombs because, yeah, memes was a huge part of the game back in its Flash incarnation, and we gotta keep the memes into the original game. We also have mini-bosses in the game, all team after the 7 sins, and this is hands down the worst of the lot. This is Envy, and I honestly don't envy anything to this guy, because he's a huge jerk that's just pretty much a moving space invader game that bounces everywhere. And most of the time this jerk doesn't even give you anything good in return. Most of the time you'll just spawn a troll bomb that'll explode in your face. All in all, Envy's an asshole, but unfortunately, whenever you encounter him, you must fight him to the death. So we have Mega Fatty here, which is a new boss that there was into this one version of the game. Dingle also was a new boss in Rebirth, but it's about time that I talk about these guys a little bit more. This guy is pretty basic, but he has one attack that can really catch you off by surprise, but he's not gonna show it off this time because he died way too fast. Also, holy shit, we're having a whole lot of good items. Well, they're not good for appearance, but yeah, they're definitely good for allowing us to prevail in our quest. This one increases our speed and our damage a whole lot. Oh, we have another character that have been unlocked. So you unlock Eve whenever you finish 2 full floors without picking up a single heart. And I suppose we did that by accident because we didn't get hit a whole lot, and finally we have no heart containers anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. So we have all of the different chest types of the game. Gold chest requires key to open, red chests are devil chest, this is the regular gray chest that has yielded us a really bad trinket, and finally you need bombs to open those chests. And holy shit, this is indeed a bomb of a gift, because yeah, Bob's Brain is definitely an item that splits a whole lot of people. But we'll come back to it a little bit later. Right here, this is the sacrifice room. If you run over the spikes, well, you will get hurt for a whole heart, but it also gives you a chance to get a chest. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of these rooms. And yeah, that's Larry again. Most of the bosses that you'll encounter in this game will come back later as mini-bosses. Sometime they will be in different forms, but yeah, we'll definitely talk about them whenever we'll see them. And yeah, notice that even though it's a different donation machine, this one is also still bugged. So yeah, once you jam the donation machine, it will remain bugged until the end of this run. Only then will you be able to donate coins again. And yeah, I found pills doesn't do anything different. So basically, there's 9 different pill sets into the game, but their effects will always be random depending on the game that you're playing. So on one playthrough, one type of pill will be beneficial to you, and in the other one it will be harmful. So you can never trust pills ahead of time for sure. The only way to find out if a pill is good or bad, or just plain does nothing, is to heat it. But there are items that will allow us to mitigate that. Also, boy, this is an annoying room loadout, because these enemies are one of the threatening new additions that Rebirth have. These skeletons are pretty hard to deal with, they throw a whole lot of projectile bombs and everything, so you gotta be careful whenever you deal with them. They are very aggressive and their walking is just random. Yeah, bad gas just makes you fart, which hurt enemies that are around you. It does nothing bad to you though. The only way an Isaac can become stronger in life is to smell and breathe his own farts. So what we have here is Gurdy, one of the classic Isaac bosses. He has two means of attack, which is to shoot bullets at you or spawn a whole bunch of minions in order to let them do all the dirty work. It's either these blobby things or it's flies. And yeah, these achievements that we're getting after finishing these floors is just a basic achievement for finishing the caves, catacombs, and whatever for the first time ever. So we have a choice of two items because we only have one heart container and therefore we're only allowed to take one. And surprise, we get a new character out of the deal because we did 3 deals with Satan. So dark matters allow all of our shots to make enemies scared of us, and finally it increases your damage. So it's good in order to push certain enemies away from you so that you have more time to do all of your bidding. And yeah, earlier I picked up a pill which is amnesia, and here you can see how awful it is. Right now I have no clue where the hell I'm going because, well, I have lost my entire map and I have no freaking sense of orientation. Also, holy shit, these guys are fast. They are called Glubins, and basically they take a whole lot of damage, they chase you until the end of time, and finally, even after you put them down, they morph into a blob that still can resurrect if you don't kill it quickly enough. Yeah, this is the reason why I said that Bob's Brain is an item that is very divisive. This is an item that can pretty much go off at any given moment without you having any say about it, and most of the time it means that Bob Brain will explode on an enemy next to you, and finally it will blow up into your own face, which will heavily damage you. So what I'm doing right now is a boss challenge room. Essentially, you can only enter these rooms whenever you have 1 red heart or less currently. It doesn't matter how many blue or black hearts you have. And you get a bunch of random rewards in it, but in order to walk away with said rewards, you need to pretty much kill 2 bosses. You also must keep an eye out for those blue rocks that most of the time will have a very subtle X mark on them, because then they will have something inside, which are either soul hearts, which are the blue hearts, keys, bombs, and eventually we'll be able to unlock another item in it, which is very nice, but we're not gonna see it until quite a while. And we get our first tarot card, which is the Sun. For the first tarot card we're getting into the entire LP, this is definitely one hell of a good start. This is hands down the best tarot card you might have in the game because it will heavily damage all of the enemies in a room, it will fully heal you, and finally it shows off the entire world map. But in our situation it wouldn't help because of our amnesia. We wouldn't even be able to remember it anyway. So the rooms with the swords and the entrance just mean it's a challenge room. You can enter them if your health is full or if you have enough blue or black hearts to be equal to the number of red heart containers you have. They usually tend to have lesser rewards, but they're easier to wade through because you only have regular enemies to fight and not bosses. And yeah, these enemies are knights. They're really annoying because, as you've just noticed, you cannot hit them from the front, so you need to shoot them in the back or on their sides. Yeah, it's another trinket we're not gonna need, or at least not in this one playthrough. I'm gonna elaborate on whether the safety cap will be useful or not into a playthrough that we have. Yeah, these enemies can be annoying because whenever they walk around they just leave this red creep or blood or whatever. And yeah, the Sun allowed us to show off the entire map, and interrogation marks mean it's a room where there's a secret. there's always a bunch of different stuff you can have. This room, for instance, have bombs, and there's a bunch of people here. These people can give money whenever they die, but there's another reason why I'm bombing them, because you unlock an item if you bomb enough of these guys eventually. Okay, I have 1 bomb versus 13 keys. I guess I'm gonna open up this luck in order to be able to play the slots. This is where my lucky foot that I picked up earlier this run will come in handy, because it increases your chances to win at the slots, and you can definitely see it because normally your odds at winning are not supposed to be that high. That said, however, I'm pretty much getting nothing but keys out of the entire thing. But you need to keep trying, because there's a very elusive item you can get in the slots, and sometimes you can get pills, but yeah, right now, full health is not gonna help me that much, because it only works with red heart containers, and I have none of them. But yeah, Tammy's head with high damage can clear almost every room in only 1 go, which is why it's amazing, and Bob's brain ended up fucking me over yet again. So we're on the verge of dying, so I'm gonna pick up this item, which probably could help me out, because the Callus allows me to walk over substances like the red goop that I've seen, and it also allows you to walk over spikes, so it can definitely get you out of a jam. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the knights from earlier, because here's a variety that flies, because we need them to be able to fly. Ow. And yeah, this is why people hate Bob's brain. This is an item that most often will put an end to your playthroughs, because even though it's very powerful and will damage the hell out of your enemies, it will also damage the hell out of you. From all of the hearts that I have, I'm pretty sure that I've lost the 3/4 of my health to Bob's brain. If I didn't have it, I'm pretty sure that we would have finished this playthrough victoriously, but it turns out we're gonna have to try again some other time, which will be in the next video. But first, let's have a look at the new characters we've had, as well as the other characters that we can unlock by looking at what you have to do in order to unlock them. We've already got Overheave. You can unlock Samson by beating 2 floors in a row without getting hit. Azazel is unlocked with 3 devil deals, and Lazarus is unlocked if you have 4 blue or black hearts. I'm tempted to stick with Isaac for now, but we can also try out one of the newcomers that we've had. So, what we will do, it's time for you to decide.